Hello everybody, welcome to another game in the Demolition League 2.0. Like I said, it's a way to get my strat fix in between games of the week on Saturday. So this game is going to be between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins. I'm using the starting lineups that Toronto used on their opening day game against St. Louis in real world, and I'm using the opening day lineups that Minnesota used against Kansas City in real world. Just for this first game. After that, it's free for all. But I figured I want to start opening day with what they did in opening day in real life. Pablo Lopez is on the mound for the Twins. He was 11-8 with a 3.66 ERA in 32 starts, and Alek Manoah got the opening nod for Toronto. He was 3-9 with a 5.87 ERA in 19 starts. He got the opening nod based on what he did in 2022. Obviously, 23 not as good, so could be seeing a Twins victory here. We don't know. We shall see. Again, got the basic analog scorebook out. I do have the game up on the computer, so I'm going to try to score it while we play. I'm not in any rush. I'm going to take my time on this one. I was going to live stream this, but there is a severe thunderstorm risk in the area, and lights flickered once, and I don't know if we'd lose power or not, so I didn't want to be in a live stream losing power. So I thought I would just do the recording, and if power went out for some strange reason, I can always pause the video and redo it when the power came back on. So that's what we're going to go with. Got our dice closest to Minnesota Twin colors as I could come up with. They are red, white, and like a navy blue, but black's the best I could do because blue, the regular blue, is too close to Toronto's colors. So that's why I chose these particular dice. Tabby is right here with me on the perch, next to me. So hopefully she will behave. We shall see. Let's look at ballpark effects for Minnesota. For singles, lefties 1-10, righties 1-7. For home runs, lefties 1-12, righties 1-6. Pitcher, catcher, hold. That's one I have not done yet, so let's do it now. We'll start with Manoah. Manoah is a +5, and Kirk is a +1 for a +6, but of course +5 is the highest you can go. So we have a +5 there. For Lopez, he's a -2. Vasquez is a -2, so that's a -4. Talk about night and day right there. They have a -4 factor when Toronto tries to steal, but when Minnesota tries to steal, they get a +5 boost, so that can certainly make a difference as well. All right, so Pablo Lopez finishing up the warm-up tosses, and the first batter he faces will be George Springer. In fact, let's do him like this, I guess. George Springer is your leadoff man for the Blue Jays. Let me make sure something doesn't look right with the focus on here for some reason. I don't know why. And it could be too much light on here. I don't know if I got too much light or not. Try something here. I think I do need that light though. Let's tone this light down one notch. Maybe that will help. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but we shall go forward. So I think we're okay on this. I'm looking down through the phone, and it seems to be okay. So we're going to go with it. Like I said, this is still in the infancy process of using this kind of a setup compared to the setup I used to do. So there's bound to be little hiccups along the way. All right, so Pablo Lopez pitching to George Springer. Get a 6-10 for Lopez, and that's a 1-11 for a home run right off the bat. Springer has normal power. That's a 1-11. That's a 7. So George Springer is going to go deep on the first pitch of the game. He christens the Blue Jays Demolition League season with a home run. How about that? George Springer hit 21 in real world, and that was a 6-10. So I don't know if I have the I don't think I have the roster sheet for 23 with me to see what the injury factor is, so we're going to eschew that for now. I don't think Lopez had much of an injury chance, so he had 32 starts, so pretty durable. So here comes Bo Bichette. 3-6 for Bichette. That's a solid single. And they are getting to Lopez early here. Bichette will be held, but the only way he gets to jump is on a 7, and even if he gets to jump, it's a -4. So it would be down to a 7 here, because the -2 for being held plus the -4. So Bichette not going to attempt anything. And that'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero. Nothing on the Havoc. Lopez to Guerrero. 3-10, and Guerrero, ground ball second base C, that will advance the runner. So Bichette will take second base on the out. So there is an out finally. And now that will send up Dalton Varsho, the left fielder and cleanup hitter. We get a 6-8 against a lefty. That's a strikeout. Much needed strikeout for Lopez, and that's 2 away. And that'll bring up the catcher, Alejandro Kirk. Kirk stepping in. Nothing on the Havoc. Lopez trying to get out of it with minimal damage. 1-4, and he will. It's a ground ball back to Lopez to end the inning. So there you go. That's going to do it for the Blue Jays. 1-0. We go to the bottom of the first, and Alek Manoah finishing up the warm-up tosses. Will be facing Max Kepler to lead off. Manoah to Kepler, 5-2 against the left-hander. Split chance, 1-17 to single. That's a 9. So you can see a big difference here between the advanced and the super advanced. In advanced, that's a ground out to second, but in super advanced, that's a high probability of a single. So there you go. Manoah gives up the single to Kepler. Leadoff single for Kepler. He will not be held as a terrible base runner, terrible stealer, I should say. He stole 1 base, got caught once. But they're not going to do anything with that. And here comes Carlos Correa. Infield looking to turn a double play. Manoah, 2-6 to Correa. Ground ball, shortstop A, and right there, Johnny on the spot. It's almost like a called shot. 6-4-3, double play. 2 quick outs as Carlos Correa, one of the bigger free agent bust signings. And he proves his point right there with a double play. Here's Buxton. 6-7, and that's a walk. So Manoah's going to walk Buxton. 2-out walk to Buxton. Now he's going to be looking to get the jump, get the lead. He needs a 6. It's the only way he gets the lead is a 6. He does not get it. Now, he could try to go here, but it would be risky. It's an 11. You start out with an 11. You subtract 4 for being held from the secondary number. Makes it a 7. And then the +5 would make it a 12. So it could still go on a 1 to 12 without getting the jump. He stole 9 bases. Did not get caught at all. Probably didn't steal too many of them without getting the jump. So I'm going to hold him here. He will be held on, but he's not going to actually attempt the lead. Because he did not get the jump, he does not have to go. And here's Trevor Larnach. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. I did not do my homework to see if it was pronounced Larnach or Larnach. 2-9, and that's going to be a strikeout no matter how you pronounce it. He is out of there. And the first inning is in the books. Toronto leads Minnesota 1-0. And since I'm scoring the game on a computer, I'm not worried about left on base or hits to total them up. Computer will do that for me. So nice thing about having the game on PC is it does the heavy lifting. All right, here's Brandon Belt. Brandon Belt is the designated hitter in this game. 110, and that's a 1 home run. Anything else is a double. So with a 10 here, that will be a leadoff double for Brandon Belt. He will not be held. He's not a very good base runner at all. He runs 1 to 9, so he will not be held on. And third baseman Matt Chapman is your batter against Lopez. Nothing going on there. Lopez to Chapman, 6-6, and that's trouble again for Lopez. 1 to 7 is a triple. Anything else is a single, 2 stars. That is a single, but with the 2 stars, that means Belt will score. And it is 2-0 Toronto. Matt Chapman will not be held. He's not a very good base runner. And that brings up the left fielder. I'm sorry, second baseman, Whit Merrifield. Runner at first, nobody out. 2-0 Blue Jays here in the top of the second. 5-6. 5-6 is a strikeout. So Merrifield goes down on strikes. And that will send up center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. Number 9 hitter against Lopez. 4-10 against the lefty is a catcher X. Catcher X. And let me get my charts out. Catcher X. Catcher in this case is Vasquez. He's a 2E4. 2E4. So a 2E4 for a catcher. We'll see what he can do on a 2E4. 2 and a 5 is a P/P. That's a 7. He's an E4. There is no 7. We go to P/P. And P/P says with runners on base, well, we're looking at the, I use this super advanced rule that's in bold here, talking about the pass ball occurs when you use the wild pitch rating of the pitcher. So his wild pitch rating is an 8. So if we roll an 8 or less, it will be a wild pitch. It is. So I'm sorry, it will be a pass ball, I should say. So it is going to be a pass ball. That moves the runner to second base. With 1 out. And Kiermaier still at the plate. Nothing happening on that havoc roll. Try again. Lopez. We get a 4-6 against the lefty. That's a single to center field. Single to center. Chapman runs at a 12. He was not being held. Makes him a 13. Center fielder arm. Taylor's a -2, so they will put the brakes on. Not going to risk that. So they'll put runners at the corners with only 1 out. And Lopez in trouble. When I started the game, I said the advantage was with Minnesota because of the better pitching matchup and the stolen base factors. But Toronto's trying to challenge that theory. The infield is at double play depth. They're trying to turn 2 on Springer. Lopez 2-7, and that's a fly ball center field B question mark. Now the question is it going to be a sacrifice fly? That's the big question. Sacrifice fly or no sacrifice fly, which will it be? All right. Got all this paperwork here. Let me get my rule book out. And let's take a look. Center field B question mark. B question mark. That is going to be listed in the rule book on page 5. So we go to page 5, and it says here, if there's a runner at third base and at least 1 or more runner on base when a fly ball occurs, if the offense decides to send the runner home, all right, that's the cutoff thing, so I'm not really worried about that. All right, so we're using the advanced rules with this addition. So the advanced rules, we come over here to the advanced rules, says to attempt to score, add the base runner's running up rating, the outfielder's arm, and then you add 2. All right, so let's do those calculations first. Chapman runs at a 12. You add 2, makes him a 14. Center fielder arm, though, is a -2, makes it a 12. So we get a number of 12. And then we come over here, number of 12. And it says here that we get a safe range and an out range. So basically, 1 to 12, he'd be safe. 13 to 20, he would be out trying to run on Michael Taylor. So do they try it with? I think they're going to go ahead and try it. So 1 to 12 is going to be the factor, because you get the 12 rating of Chapman, the +2, and then the -2 from Taylor cancels the +2 out. So 1 to 12 he scores. He does not. He's thrown out. So it's a double play. It's a fly to center, and then Chapman is out 8 to 2 on the double play. Wow. So let's put that in the computer and figure that out. So it's going to go 8 and then 8 to 2 for a double play. And Toronto comes away with just the 1 run. They were playing with house money, so I figured that's why they took the gamble. It was a good gamble, 60% chance, just didn't work out. But that good arm of Michael Taylor is what saved the day for that. All right, here is Alek Manoah. He'll be facing Jose Miranda, third baseman for the Twins. 1-7, and that's a ground ball to short. He just missed the injury check. It's a ground ball to short, 1 away. And that'll send up second baseman Nick Gordon. He can play all over. He played center, second, and left and short. So 4 different positions. None of them very well, but he played there. 6-4 against the lefty for Manoah is a walk. So Manoah issues the 1-out walk, and Gordon doesn't run well at all. As far as stealing bases, he did not have any stolen base attempts at all. So he will not be held. And that'll bring up Joey Gallo, first baseman. Manoah 1-9 to Gallo, struck him out. 2 down. And now it's going to be up to the catcher, Christian Vasquez. Nothing on the havoc. Manoah to Vasquez. 3-12. Fly ball to left field, and that's going to end the inning. Nothing doing there for the Twins. At the end of 2, it is 2-0 Toronto. A little bit of surprise here. Fans at Target Field, a little bit chagrined. But there's still 7 innings remaining. Bo Bichette will lead things off. He singled his first time up. 4-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. Right fielder for the Twins is Max Kepler. He's a 1E1, so you know he's going to get to it with a 1. Now it's just a matter of the E1. And for an outfielder, E1, the only way a right fielder can make an error on an E1 is on a 17. So 17, if this is not a 17, he will make the catch. And it's a 14, so a little shaky, but he did make the catch. 1 down. Didn't need the D20 because as a 1 outfielder, he's going to get to everything. And there's nobody on base to worry about him throwing anybody for advancement, so that's why I didn't roll the D20. All right, that'll bring up Vladdy. He grounded to second in his first at bat. 1-5. He's going to fly to left. That's 2 away. And that'll send up Gary Varsho, left fielder. Varsho, a strikeout victim his first time up. 1 of 2 strikeouts turned by Lopez. 4-5 against the lefty is another strikeout. So Varsho 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. And the Blue Jays go very quietly here in the third. We go to the bottom of the third, still 2-0 Toronto. And leading things off for Minnesota will be the number 9 hitter, Michael Taylor. He's already got an outfield assist to his credit. Throwing out Chapman, trying to score on a potential sacrifice fly. Taylor 6-7 against Manoah is a walk, so they will walk Michael Taylor. And now it's a possibility. He's a good runner. And with that +5 staring you in the face from the Manoah factor, it's a good chance he might try to get the lead. 4 or a 5 gets him the lead. 9, he does not get the lead. Now, still has a 13. So if he tries to go without the lead, that's a 13 -4 for being held as a 9. But then the +5 would make it a 14. I think it's a pretty good gamble. So 1 to 14, they're going to send him anyway without a good lead. And he's in there right on the button. So let's fix this a little bit more. Give us more room here. So walk and a stolen base for Michael Taylor. Even without the good lead, he got the stolen base. He stole 13, got caught only 1 time. So Taylor is in scoring position with nobody out for Max Kepler. Taylor will be held at second. Manoah to Kepler. 1-6 struck him out. So Kepler out on strikes. And that will send up Carlos Correa, hitting to a double play his first time up. Nothing happening there. Manoah 3-7 struck him out. So Carlos Correa having issues. And Houston's probably glad they got rid of him. 2 down for designated hitter Byron Buxton. Must have been injured in this season because he was always a pretty good center fielder, but he only DH'd in the season, so he had to have some sort of an injury that they didn't want him playing the outfield. Manoah 3-6, ground ball to, boy, almost had an injury there. Ground ball to second, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the top of the 4th, still 2-0 favor of the Blue Jays. Buxton played had 304 at bats, so he had some injuries during the season, but I think he came into the season with some sort of injury to cause them to make him DH because he's usually a very good center fielder. So now, top of the 4th, it'll be Alejandro Kirk, the catcher, leading things off for the Jays. Kirk grounded back to Lopez's first chance. 5-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Correa. He's a 2E8. 2E8 for Correa as a shortstop. 2E8. 2 and an 11. He will get to that. It will end up being a G1. That is an 11, and he is an E8. So E8. There is no 11. It's a good play. Correa makes the play. 1 away. Kirk is retired. That will bring up first the designated hitter, Brandon Belt. Said first base by mistake, but he is the DH. Let me lower these lights just a touch. I think I got too much light here, maybe. So maybe I'll take a little glare off. I don't know. Lopez 5-6 against the lefty, struck him out. So 2 down. And that brings up Chapman. Four 6 against the righty. 1-2 is a double, but that's a 9, so he flies to center. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. For the Blue Jays. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 2-0 Toronto. Manoah, this is his fatigue inning. You notice he only has a 4 for his fatigue factor. Lopez is a 6, but Manoah's a 4, so we got to keep an eye on Manoah. And boy, that's 2023 baseball for you right there. Fatigue factor of 4. So definitely have to keep an eye on that. And Larnack will lead it off. 1-6. That's a 1 for a double. Anything else, he flies to center. So fly out to center. And Manoah pitching surprisingly well here on the first day of the first game of their season. Here's Miranda. 6-7, and that's a walk. So as soon as I say he's pitching well, it was the jinx, I'm sure. Miranda will not be held. Brings up Nick Gordon, second baseman. 2, so that's a chance for a balk or a pass ball. It's a 4, chance for a pass ball on the catcher, Kirk. You look at Alejandro Kirk's rating. His pass ball rating is a 0, so it cannot be a pass ball. So we just drive on. That's ball 1. 2-5, and that's a ground ball, first base B. Fielder's choice, 3-6. They get the force on Miranda. It's going to go 3-6. And Nick Gordon, the new runner, he's not going to be held either. He doesn't run well at all either. So 2 down for Joey Gallo. .18 for Gallo is another strikeout. And that's going to end the inning. So Manoah makes it through the 4th pretty much unscathed, just 1 walk. So he's going to try to go 5 innings if he can to qualify for that victory, assuming his team holds the lead. We go to the top of the 5th, still 2-0. And due up is Whit Merrifield for the Blue Jays. 1-7, and that's a grounder to short. 1 away. Bringing up Kevin Kiermaier. He did single his first time up. Drove in Belt. I'm sorry, he didn't drive in Belt. He singled, and that moved Chapman to third, but Chapman got thrown out on a double play on an attempted sac fly. Lopez 1-9 to Kiermaier. That's a 1-15 triple. That's a 6. That will be a 1-out triple for Kevin Kiermaier. And now the infield's going to have to come in for the Twins. They can't afford to give up another cheap run and fall further behind. So they bring the infield in for Springer. Infield is in. 1-7. That's a ground ball, second base C. With the infield back, that would be an automatic run. But with the infield in, we'll see what happens. Go to our ground ball chart. Ground ball C, runner at third, infield in, runner at third. Ground ball C is a 1. It says batter out, runner holds. So by playing the infield in, they were able to prevent the run from scoring, at least temporarily. So 2 down, and that's going to send it up to to Bo Bichette. His father was Dante Bichette. Bo Bichette. Runner at third, 2 outs. Bichette 1 for 2. 2-4, and that is a ground ball to first, and Gallo will put it away himself to end the inning. And Lopez survives that 1-out triple. And they end the inning still 2-0. So Twins still hanging around, trying to break through against Manoah. And it will be Christian Vasquez to lead it off. He flew to left his first chance. 4-6 against the right-hander is a single. Leadoff single for Vasquez. And now the bullpen for the Blue Jays is stirring. And I'll show the available bullpen arms for the Blue Jays. They do have 6 relief pitchers. I'm sorry, 7 relief pitchers. 6 are right-handed, 1 is left-handed. They have Eric Swanson. They have Anthony Bass, Yimi Garcia, Trevor Richards, Nate Pearson, and their closer, Jordan Romano. The one lefty is Tim Meza. So loosening the bullpen is going to be, boy, who do they have out here that they feel comfortable with? Yimi Garcia. So Yimi Garcia is loosening the pen. He was 3-4, 4.09 ERA and 3 saves. So Yimi Garcia is loosening in the bullpen. Yimi Garcia loosening in the pen. Right now, Michael Taylor is up. 1 chance for a wild pitch against Manoah. His wild pitch rating is a 6. And it is a 6. He uncorks 1. So wild pitch by Manoah. And that moves Vasquez to scoring position with nobody out. Now Michael Taylor, double play has been taken out of the equation. 2-5, but the strikeout has not. So Manoah gets the strikeout. And we flip the order over to Max Kepler. Vasquez at second, not being held. Does not run well at all. Manoah 4-9 to the lefty, struck him out. There's a dot there, but he is not tired. He's only given up 2, walking a hit 2, and in 2 innings he got to give up 4 to be tired. So strikeout is still good. 2 down. And that brings up Carlos Correa. Manoah to Correa. Oops, Suadice. Let's re-roll that. 3-9 for Correa. Struck him out. Boy, he's just been a bust all the way around. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So Correa is out of there, and so are the Twins. It is still 2-0 Minnesota. And Manoah has made it through his 5 innings. And they may keep him going. Yimi Garcia is still loosening in the pen just in case. Now this is Lopez's fatigue inning right here, inning number 6, so keep an eye on him. Here's Guerrero. 4-6, and that is a 1-2 for a double, but that's a 9. So that will be a fly to center. 1 away. Fly out to center field. And that will send up Dalton Varsho. Varsho 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Trying to avoid a hat trick. 4-5. But he will not. That is a strikeout. The dot's there, but he's not tired. So he gets the hat trick with 3 strikeouts. Does Varsho. And he's a cleanup man. He's not cleaning up very much. Here's Alejandro Kirk. He's 0 for 2. 2 ground outs. 5-11 against the right-hander is a ground ball first base X. That is the first baseman, Gallo. He's a 2-E-4. 2-E-4 for Joey Gallo. 2-19, he'll get to that, obviously. And the E4, and that is a 10. So E4, there's a 14, 18, no 10. So to be official, he's a 2 with a 19 is a G1, so it's going to be first base unassisted. Actually, no, my house rule is anytime it's an X chance, he does flip to the pitcher covering, so we'll keep it like that. 3-1 as Gallo flips to Lopez to end the inning. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and we'll see if Manoah will continue to stay in there or whether they go to Garcia. They're going to let him pitch. If he gives up any base runners, he's coming out. First base runner gets on, he's going to be coming out of the game, and Garcia would be coming in. He's ready to go. Chomping at the bit is Garcia. Buxton 6-4, and that's a walk, so that's going to do it for Manoah. He will leave. Manoah will be replaced. Even though the lefty Larnack is coming on, they are going to the right-hander Yimi Garcia. He will be coming on. Take the place of Manoah, and we can't close the book on Manoah yet because the runner on first is his responsibility. Here's Jimmy Garcia, and he is a 0, so that means 0 and minus 2. I'm sorry, 0 and Kirk's a +1, so that's a 1. So they improved on their defense hold rating from a 5 to a 1. And now Byron Buxton draws the walk. Now the question is, can he get a jump? Again, it's a 1. It's a 6 only will get him the jump. And he gets the 6. How about that? So he gets the jump. That's a 20. Minus 2 for being held is an 18. And then the +1 is a 19. So anything other than a 20 and he will be successful. And he is. Stolen base for Buxton. So Buxton steals second base. Off of Garcia. He will be held at second. And here's Trevor Larnach. Nothing on the havoc. Garcia to Larnach. 3-6, and that is a strikeout. One away. So Garcia gets the K on Larnach. Brings up Miranda. Garcia 4-5 to Miranda, and that's a 1-2 single. Anything else he grounds to third. That's a third base B, so it's a fielder's. I'm sorry, it's a B, so he's got a hold at second base. So he grounds to third, but the runner has to hold with the ball hit right to third base. So 2 down, and that brings up Nick Gordon. And if Garcia can get out of this, he will keep Manoah without allowing any runs. Gordon. Garcia to Gordon. 1-6, ground ball to first. That's going to do it. Take it to the bag by Vladimir Guerrero, and we now can close the book on Manoah. He does qualify for the win. And let's get the numbers on Manoah since I'm at the computer here scoring the game as I go. Let's go to the box score for Manoah. Manoah's going to go 5 innings, give up 2 hits, no runs, walks 5, strikes out 8. And he is in line to be the winner if the Blue Jays hold on. So 6 innings in the books, it's still 2-0. Now the question is, do they stick with Lopez? Will the Twins stick with Lopez? He's pitched well. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, no walks and 5 strikeouts. So he's done very well for himself. So they're going to stick with Lopez. And he'll be facing Brandon Belt, Chapman, and Merrifield here in the top of the 7th. So they're going to stick with Lopez against Belt. 5-7. That's a ground ball second base X. Second baseman is Gordon. He's a 4-E-20. 4-12. Should get to that. 4-12 is a G3. That is a 12 here. And he is an E20 at second base. There's a 3, 13, 18, and 17, but no 12. So it's a good play by Gordon. So Belt grounds out to Gordon for 1 away. And that will send up Matt Chapman. Let's look at the Twins bullpen because they could have some activity going very shortly. We'll look at their right-handers. They have Griffin Jacks. They have Yohan Duran. They have Giovanni Moran. Actually, he's a lefty, my bad. Emilio Pagan is a righty. Jorge Lopez is a righty. Cole Sands is a righty. They have 2 lefties, Giovanni Moran and Caleb Thielbar. So in the bullpen right now, they are looking at a right-hander, and it appears to be It's going to be Emilio Pagan. He's going to be loosening in the bullpen for the Twins. Emilio Pagan will loosen in the bullpen for the Twins. So right now, here's Matt Chapman. 1 out, bases empty. 4-4, and that is a ground ball third base X. Third baseman is Miranda. He's a 4E24. 4 and a 14. See if he can get to that. Should get to it. 4 and a 14 is a G2. And that's a 13. And he's an E24. E24. There's a 9, 12, 3, 15, and 18, but no 13. So it's a good play for Miranda. So one third baseman throws out the other. And that brings out Whit Merrifield. Maybe Lopez can get through 7 innings. That would be something. Especially as poorly as he started the game. So he has certainly recovered very well. Here's Merrifield. He's 0 for 2. 6-12, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. And he's an E7, 2E7. 2 and a 3. That might sneak by for a base hit. Let's check it out. 2 and a 3 for the pitcher. 2 and a 3 actually is a G3, so he does get to it. That is a 13, and he's an E7. There's a 12 there, but no 13, so tricky play, but Lopez made it to end the inning. 1, 2, 3, and he's going to go out with a bang as they will turn it over now to Pagan for the remainder, or to start the 8th inning, rather. So Merrifield is out. And that's going to do it for Pablo Lopez. Let's do the numbers on Lopez officially off the computer. Get his total numbers. A nice outing. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Unfortunately for him, he's on the saddle for the loss. But and Emilio Pagan would be coming in next. He was 5-2, 2.99 ERA and a save. So he would be the new pitcher for Minnesota in the top of the 8th inning. Right now, bottom of the 7th inning stretch time. So I might stretch myself since I've been sitting here. Let's go ahead and take a stretch. Tabby's sitting on her perch, and she's been very graciously quiet, so don't want to disturb her. Now, the only lefty in the Toronto bullpen is Tim Meza. Could be bringing him in shortly because you got Gallo here, but then you got Kepler up here. So I guess they want to use him judiciously. There's a workaround for the 3-batter minimum. If he pitches and the out he makes ends the inning, then that resets everything. So he could actually go just face 1 batter. If the batter he faces, he retires when there's already 2 outs, he becomes a 3rd out, and then he can reset. He does not have to come out for the next 2 batters. That's the way the rule works. All right, so now we have Yimi Garcia. He's going to stay in there. He only has 1 walk. That's the only thing he gave up. Actually, no, he didn't give up anything. That was Manoah did that. So this is all Garcia. He hasn't given up anything against his point of weakness, so he's still good to go. So Garcia will face Gallo here in the bottom of the 7th. 5-5, and that's a strikeout. So he strikes out Gallo, and Gallo's got the hat trick, 3 strikeouts. And that'll bring up Vasquez, the catcher, Christian Vasquez. 3-11, and that's a ground ball first base C, so that's a play where Guerrero has to throw to Garcia covering. 3-1 if you're scoring at home, and goodness sakes you ought to be. And there's 2 down from Michael Taylor. Great defense, not much of a hitter, but with nobody else on base, they're going to go ahead and let him hit. If he was a tying run coming up, they might pinch hit for him, but they're going to let him swing with 2 outs and the bases empty. 5-10. That's a catcher X. That will be Kirk. He's a 2E3. 2 and a 14. 2 and a 14 for a catcher. 2 and a 14 is a foul out. That's a 6. And he is an E3. No 6 there, so it's simply a foul out. to the catcher to end the inning. So 1, 2, 3 innings. So Yimi Garcia is going to go 2 innings. And he's going to strike out 2, give up nothing. And they'll turn it over to another reliever out of the Toronto bullpen. So Garcia is finished. Emilio Pagan will be coming on for the Twins to start the top of the 8th. So let's bring Pagan in. Pagan. Will be facing Kiermaier. Number 9 hitter Kiermaier, who tripled his last time up. He's the number 9 hitter, but he's singled and tripled. So he's definitely not hitting like a number 9 hitter. Pagan to Kiermaier. 2-11, and that's a fly ball to right field for out number 1. Hauled in by the right fielder Kepler. 1 down. Here's Springer. Springer homered to lead the game off, and then now he's 0 for 2 since then. 1-7, he's going to ground it to second, and that is out number 2. So 2 down, and that brings up Bo Bichette. Bichette is 1 for 3. Whoop, the 1 die did not go through. Let's redo that again. 2-4, and that's a ground ball to first. Gallo will take it to the bag himself to end the inning. 1, 2, 3, lots of goose eggs. So Pagan certainly could come back. He's retired all 3 he's faced. And now we need a new pitcher for Minnesota. I'm sorry, for Toronto, rather. Kepler is going to be the leadoff man. It's going to be Kepler, Correa, and Buxton with Larnach, a lefty, as the 4th place hitter. So I think this is the spot they're going to use Tim Meza, the lefty. Tim Meza, the left-hander, 3-1 with a 1.52 ERA and a save. So Tim Meza will be on for Toronto. He's a -2, and then Kirk's a +1, so that makes it a -1 on the hold. So that certainly helps. Pagan was a -2, so it's still a -4 here. Okay. So Tim Meza will now be facing, he'll be facing Kepler. Let's bring Meza into the game. Tim Meza. Meza, I guess it's Meza. And he'll be facing, not Michael Taylor, because he made the last out last inning, Max Kepler, leadoff man, here in the bottom of the 8th of a 2-0 game. 5-7, and that's a strikeout for Meza. And that's, Max Kepler now has the hat trick of 3 strikeouts. A lot of strikeouts. Twins are swinging at a lot of air. Speaking of strikeouts, here's Correa. He's hit into a double play and struck out twice. 3-6 against the lefties. He'll line it to short. That is out number 2. And that will send up Buxton. Meza to Buxton. 3-6. Fly ball to center. That's going to end the inning. So Meza goes 1, 2, 3 here in the 8th. And now they will get ready for their closer Romano in the 9th. So Meza goes 1 inning. Doesn't give up anything. And we're going to need to put over here for Toronto. We will be having Romano come in. Don't think bad about the score sheet. It only gives you 3 slots for each team. So that's the one downfall. I like the score sheet. It's a very nostalgic feel, but that's the one area that's a little bit wanting, in my opinion. All right, Pagan back out for his 2nd inning of work, and he'll be facing Vladdy Guerrero. Still 2-0. It's been that way since the 2nd inning. Pagan, 6-10, fly ball to right. 1 away. Bats have gone silent for both teams. Brings up Dalton Varsho. So Dalton Varsho, let's put this over here so you can make sure you can see it. 6'10" was that fly to right. So here's Varsho. 6'8" against the lefty, and that's a 1-2 single, but that's a 9, so that will be a line out to second. 2 down. In fact, let's put it down here. Probably better do it that way. So a liner to second for 2 outs. That brings up Alejandro Kirk. Pagan, 3-8 to Kirk, and he grounds it to short for a 1-2-3 inning. So Pagan's going to go 2 innings, and he's not going to give up anything. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Twins. They'll have to do it against the closer, Jordan Romano of the Blue Jays. Even though a lefty is going to lead off the inning, they're still going to their closer. They're not going to mess around. Most closers like to come in on a clean inning. They don't want to clean up somebody's mess if somebody else is on base. So Romano, 5-7, 2.90 ERA and 36 saves for Mr. Romano. He'll be on, and he's going to be facing Larnach, Miranda, and Gordon. Those are the scheduled hitters. Let's look at the bench for the Twins, see who they have available. Should they wish to pinch hit, they have Kyle Farmer, they have Donovan Solano, and Ryan Jeffers all from the right-hand side, and then switch hitter Willie Castro. So we'll see who they want to pinch hit for, if anybody. Larnach's only a .213 hitter, and he is 0 for 3. He is left-handed. He does have normal power, and he does give up home runs to lefties, so they're going to keep him in to face Romano. Larnach will be in to face Romano. 3-7, he's going to strike out. So unfortunately, Larnach with the K for out number 1. And that's going to send up Miranda. Now, do you pinch hit from Miranda? He's a .211 hitter. You will pinch hit from Miranda. So Miranda will be pinch hit for. And they are going to bring in switch hitter Willie Castro to pinch hit for Miranda. So Willie Castro will come off the bench for the Twins and try to get something started. They have read Miranda his rights, that he has a right to go to the bench and be silent about it. Anything he says can and will be used against him in their kangaroo court. So Castro is your pinch hitter. So Castro, the pinch hitter, Willie Castro, pinch hitting against Romano. 4-4, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly ball center field X. That is Kevin Kiermaier. He's a 1E4. So you know he's going to get to it with a 1. We don't even need the D20 for that. We're just checking for an error on an E4. That's a 14. So we check the error chances. He's an E4 center fielder and a 14. We have a 4, a 16, and an 18. So he does make the play. Tough chance, but Kiermaier up to the task. And there's 2 away. And now that brings up second baseman Nick Gordon, a 176 hitter. So he's obviously coming out of the game. And they'll bring on another pinch hitter. And it'll be Donovan Solano. Solano's a 282 hitter. So Solano is going to pinch hit for Gordon. Donovan Solano will pinch hit for Gordon. So let's add that to the computer. First of all, Castro flew to center. Now we go to the bench for Donovan Solano. Last chance for the Twins. It is Donovan Solano. He will hit for Gordon. So Donovan Solano stands in against Romano. 3-6, and that's a walk, so Donovan Solano keeps the game going. A 2-out walk. He is now the tying run. He will not go anywhere. He will stay right where he is. And Joey Gallo is your pinch hitter, or your first baseman, who's coming up to hit. He has gotten the hat trick 0 for 3. However, he does have some home runs here that could tie the game, so kind of feast or famine, pretty much. And Solano not even being held at first. His run is not even important. 3-8, and that is a strikeout to end the ball game. So, Joey Gallo, the golden sombrero, he strikes out he strikes out 4 times, 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. He was a 177 hitter. You could argue you could have pinch hit for him, but they were going for the home run shot. Could have used Kyle Farmer maybe, but they decided to go with Gallo, and it did not pay off. So nothing doing there. Romano gets the save. The Twins win it by the score of the Blue Jays win it by the score of 2-0. And we'll go to the box score and fill in the details. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Toronto. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for the Minnesota Twins. Winning pitcher was Alek Manoah. The loser was Pablo Lopez, and the save to Jordan Romano, his first. So, player of the game. Tough to call who you would give it to. Springer led off the game with a home run. That gave him the run there. Manoah was okay, 5 innings pitched of shutout ball, but that's not earth-shattering. Bullpen pitched 4 innings between the 3 relievers. So I don't know. Kiermaier singled and tripled, but it didn't really have any impact on the game. So, boy, it's kind of hard to pick up a player of the game because it was kind of blah. Springer hit the home run, like I said, but it was only 1 for 4. So, I guess, I don't know. I'd hate to give it to Manoah, because he only pitched 5 innings. He did walk five batters, which wasn't good either. So I'm not sure if there is a player of the game. I think it's just going to be what it is. So final line score. Toronto 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left 3 on base. Minnesota no runs, 2 hits, no errors. They left 7 on base. So those are the left on bases for both teams. So there you have it. Strat-O-Matic, more in the analog, using the old school score sheet. And Toronto takes care of Minnesota 2-0. Toronto goes to 1-0. Minnesota goes to 0-1. So if I'm going off memory, Chicago beat Pittsburgh. Detroit beat Oakland. Let me look at the standings on the computer. That'll make it easier. Each team has played 1 game now. How about that? First game of the is in the books for the 10 teams. Chicago, San Diego, Toronto, Detroit, and Miami are 1-0. Pittsburgh, Los Angeles Dodgers, Minnesota, Oakland, and Baltimore are 0-1. So hope you and I really applaud Tabby. She was going to get up here, but she's settled back down on her perch. She didn't freak out from the thunder that I can hear in the background, and she really is well behaved, so I give her kudos for that. And there you go. There's the score sheet. Hopefully, now that I'm using this mechanical pencil, the handwriting's a little bit better. Not that it's great, but hopefully it's better than what it was with the pen. Like I said, the only thing bad about the score sheet, I'd like to have more room for pitchers. Had I known I was only going to use 2 Minnesota pitchers, I could have bumped these down, but you don't know that when you're playing it. So you like to allow 2 relievers for each team, just the way it worked out. But Romano had nowhere to fit, so just the way that goes. But no biggie. It gives you that. This score sheet gives me the nostalgic feel, so I like going to that sometimes. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Demolition League 2023 season. as I try to learn some of these modern players and try to like the modern game. That's a tough task, but I'm giving the college try, as they say. So until next time, and next time will probably be inside pitch, most likely. Will be the 1967 American League pennant race. It'll be the Baltimore Orioles at the Boston Red Sox. And then on Saturday, it is the NBC Game of the Week on Strat-O-Matic, 1973. It will be the Minnesota Twins at the Boston Red Sox, 1973 from Fenway for the NBC Game of the Week. And that'll conclude the first half of the 1973 season, as we will then be at the All-Star break. So that's going to do it from here. Tabby wishes you well. And as usual, enjoy playing whatever game you like to play, however you like to play it. And I will see you all down the road.